Edgar Allan Purr is 8 months old today, and I regret to report that his personality is no longer developing. It has launched. He's bigger and softer, smarter, craftier, more regal, and, unfortunately, he's becoming increasingly aware of his own power. When Edgar first came home, he was just this tiny chocolate puff of kitten with bluish green eyes, soft paws, and a face that looked like he had never committed a single crime. Which is, of course, propaganda. At the time, we were naive and weak from the cuteness. We thought we were bringing home a kitten, but we actually brought home a small political movement with toe beans. And now, at 8 months old, Edgar has entered what can only be described as his tyrant era. And to understand the full weight of this, you have to understand that Mr. Darcy is 17. He's my old man. He has spent years establishing his position in this house. He has his favorite spots and favorite blankets. He has his routines, and he has a very clear sense of what belongs to him. And then Edgar arrived. Edgar, who is young. Edgar, who has no respect for established government. One of the first things I noticed recently is that Edgar appears to be trying to establish dominance over Mr. Darcy. And I don't mean that in some vague, oh, the cats are figuring each other out kind of way. I mean Edgar will sit next to Mr. Darcy's litter box and wait for minutes. Just sitting there, quietly, like he's buffering, like the little wheels inside his head are spinning. And then, when the moment feels right, he climbs in and he deposits his offering into Mr. Darcy's litter box. And I can't prove his intent, but the energy is very much, here's what I think of you and your regal chamberpot, sir. It's not subtle or respectful, and I don't even think it's constitutional. Mr. Darcy also has special food now because we believe he may have an allergy to chicken. And Edgar knows this. Edgar has food. Let me be extremely clear. Edgar has food. An endless supply of growing boy provisions in his own bowl because he's a kitten and kittens are apparently bottomless pits. There's no famine in this house, there's no hardships, and yet when I feed Mr. Darcy, Edgar waits for me to leave. He pushes Mr. Darcy out of the way and begins eating Mr. Darcy's food. The food that was meant for the old man. The food specifically chosen to help Mr. Darcy feel better. The food Edgar does not need. But Edgar doesn't want food. He wants conquest. Mr. Darcy will just stand there deeply offended, looking like this regal duke whose estate has just been seized by a toddler carrying a spoon. And Edgar just eats. Because Edgar has learned that being adorable is not a personality trait. It's a legal defense. Edgar has also begun a quiet campaign against Mr. Darcy's favorite chair. Mr. Darcy will be lying there in his favorite spot, on his favorite chair, minding his own elderly cat business, probably thinking about the old days of hunting bugs and chasing strings of beads. I don't know. Whatever it is that old cats think about. And then Edgar begins. It's not a full attack. Nothing obvious. Nothing we can formally prosecute. It's just a little pounce here, a little swat there, a little unnecessary proximity. Kitten harassment. Until Mr. Darcy finally gets up and leaves. And then Edgar takes the spot. Which means Edgar is no longer simply using the king's chamberpot and eating the royal food. He is taking the throne. This is how regimes begin. With litter box violations and chair theft. But Edgar's greatest skill is not dominance. It's manipulation. He is honing his craft. He follows me from room to room, rubbing against my legs, looking up at me with that soft little face, and acting like he's just a poor innocent baby. And I know what he wants. He wants the blanket. Not just any blanket, he wants his favorite blanket. And then I, a grown woman with alleged free will go get his favorite blanket and sit down. I place the blanket in my lap, and Edgar climbs up. Then he purrs, and he drools, and he kneads, and then I'm pinned there for as long as he wills. And I cannot move. I can't fulfill basic household obligations because the baby is sleeping. And by baby, I mean the cat currently holding me hostage through emotional terrorism. And I surrender often because I'm not strong. The breeder warned us about Edgar. She told us he was a purr bug. And she was right, but I don't think any of us understood the full nature of what purr bug means. Because Edgar doesn't just purr. He sings. There are little notes in it, little tiny chirps, soft, melodious, almost musical sounds tucked inside the rumble. And the older he gets, the louder it gets. At first it was sweet. Now it's a phenomenon, and my husband is dumbfounded by it. He'll hear him purring from somewhere across the room and just look at him and go, "How are you doing that?" Edgar obviously doesn't give us any explanation because Edgar does not answer questions during active enchantment. He just purrs louder. Dave used to claim immunity from Edgar's charms, which was adorable. Historically inaccurate, but adorable. He would act like Edgar was cute, but not irresistible. And then Edgar kept being Edgar. More beautiful and ridiculous, and slowly, Dave began to crumble. When Edgar misbehaves, Dave looks at him and says things like, "Doggone it, Edgar! You're too cute for your own good." And that's how I know we're finished. Because once Dave started saying things like that, the rule of law was over. There are things we allow Edgar to do that we would never have allowed the other cats to do. We're not proud of it, but we are honest. Edgar just watches us eat breakfast from the other side of the bed, interested, probably judging us for what we're eating. He begs me for chicken necks and wingtips while I'm cooking, and I give them to him. He begs for ice, and I give him that too. He destroys the toilet paper. And at this point, the energy in the house is basically, "Oh, do you need a fresh roll to destroy? Would you like the quilted kind or double ply for your sacred shredding ceremony?" This is who we are now. He's so darn cute and so darn bad. He's still not allowed on the countertops, though. I do want to be clear about that. Some civilization remains. I said some. Because Edgar has a way of making bad behavior look like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, what do you do with that? Discipline him? Please. That cat is adorable. Are you kidding me? When Edgar does something terrible, we all look at each other like, well, surely he has his reasons. But I do have to admit, he loves us. At least I think he does. Maybe it's all manipulation. Maybe every chirp and purr and leg rub. Maybe it's a long con. Maybe Edgar is playing us like a harp. But I choose to believe he loves us because he wants to be around us. And I love him. I hate that I love him this much, but I do because I do not like having my emotions played. And Edgar is very clearly doing that with both of his marshmallow paws. And I don't think I've ever bonded with a cat quite like this. And if this is what 8 months looks like, I don't know what's coming, but I don't think we're ready for it. Godspeed, everyone.